Jai Hind students, today I am going to start with the third chapter of civics, that is why do we need a parliament. Now as you all can see on the screen, it is an image of parliament which is situated in New Delhi. Now the question arises, why should people decide? India became independent on 15th August 1947. Preceding this was a long and difficult struggle in which many sections of society participated. Now people from various backgrounds joined the struggle, and they were inspired by the ideas of freedom, equality and participation in decision making. As we all know that under colonial rule, the people had lived in fear of the British government and did not agree with many of the decisions that they took. But they face grave danger if they try to criticize these decisions. The freedom movement changed the situation. As far back as 1885, the Indian National Congress demanded that there be elected members in the legislature with a right to discuss the budget and ask questions. The Government of India Act 1909 allowed for some elected representation. Now in Parliament there is people and their representative. Now just let's discuss this. What does it mean? The takeoff point for a democracy is the idea of consent, that is the desire, approval and participation of people. It is the decision of people that creates a democratic government and decide about its functioning. The basic idea in this kind of democracy is that individual or the citizen is the most important person, and that in principle the government as well as other public institutions need to have the trust of these citizens. People, now how it take place, people would elect their representatives to the parliament. Then one group from among these elected representatives forms the government. The parliament, which is made up of all representatives, together control and guides the government. Now basically there are three major roles of parliament. The three major roles, now we'll discuss that. The first is to select the national government. The parliament in India consists of the president, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. After the Lok Sabha elections, a list is prepared showing how many MPs belong to each political party. And for a political party to form the government, they must have majority of elected MPs, that is member of parliament. Since there are 543 elected members in Lok Sabha, to have a majority, a party should have at least half the number, that is 272 members or more. And in recent elections of 2019, we have seen that the majority votes have been received by the BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, and they got more than 300 votes. So without any doubt they will form the national government. The second highest vote getter, they become the opposition. The opposition in parliament is formed by all the political parties that oppose the majority party or coalition formed. The largest amongst the parties is called the opposition party. Now one of the most important function of the Lok Sabha is to select the executive. The executive is a group of persons who work together to implement the law made by the parliament. The Prime Minister of India is the leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha. So the second role of parliament is to control, guide and inform the government. After the national government is being selected, now what is the major role? To control, guide and inform the government. Now in this, the parliament while in session begins with a question hour. The question hour is an most important mechanism through which MPs can elicit information about the working of the government. In this, it is a very important way through which the parliament controls the executive. By asking question, the government is alerted to its shortcomings and also come to know the opinion of the people through their representatives in the parliament, that is the MPs. Asking question is of the government is a crucial task for every MP. The opposition parties plays a critical role in the healthy functioning of a democracy. They highlight drawbacks in various policies and programs of the government and mobilize popular support of their own policies, right? The third major role of parliament is the lawmaking. Now lawmaking is a significant function of the parliament. Laws are being made for the whole country, wherein every person has to follow irrespective of caste, color, creed, etc. Now there are two houses in the parliament. One is Lok Sabha and the other one is Rajya Sabha. Now Lok Sabha is also known as House of People and it is also the lower house of India. Members of the Lok Sabha are elected by adult universal suffrage. Now universal suffrage means wherein you have the right to vote and also you have a right to contest in the elections. Now the Lok Sabha house meet in the Lok Sabha chamber of the Sansad Bhavan, which is also in New Delhi. Currently the house has 545 members. As we have discussed earlier, 543 members are being elected by the people of India and 2 members are nominated by President from Anglo-Indian community. 3 sessions take place in the year. One which is known as budget session, the other one that is monsoon session and the third one that is winter session. Now the Lok Sabha speaker is chosen from the ruling party. You can see on the screen, it's a image of a Lok Sabha where people discuss about the laws, about the bills, about the shortcomings, about the problems of the country. And it is very important to discuss because it can bring some good solution for the country. This is statistics of a current elections that took place in the country, and this orange shows the BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, which got the highest number of seats. And after that there are parties like SP, BSP, Congress, etc. Now coming to the second house, that is Rajya Sabha. It is also known as Council of State and it is the upper house. We don't go and elect to those the members of Rajya Sabha, and it basically have 245 members. 233 are elected by the legislatures of the states and union territories, and 12 members are elected by the president from the field of literature, science and social services. Vice president is the speaker of the Lok Sabha. This statistics you can see on the board. 245 members and the members of the political party. Now the question is, who are these people in the parliament? Who are we voting to? So the parliament now has more and more people from different backgrounds. There are more rural members as also members from many regional parties, groups and people that were till now unrepresented are beginning to get elected to the parliament. There has also been increase in political participations from Dalit and backward caste and minorities. And it also has been observed that representative democracy cannot produce a perfect reflection of society if they are not including the people from different background. There is a realization that when interests and experiences separate us, it is important to ensure that communities that have been historically marginalized are given adequate representation. And with this in mind, some seats are reserved in the parliament not only for the rich people, not only for the educated people, but also from different backgrounds, like from scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, other backward classes. And also importance has been given to the women also, because the problems which can be discussed by them in the parliament can have better solution by them. So this is from my side. Thank you.